Secretary King, thank you for being part of this. Kind of the format here for the panelists is I will go around the room asking each of you a question or two. Address your answers to Secretary King, because I know he's very interested in what's going, the wonderful work that's taking place here. And just feel free to elucidate, if you will, but we are kind of in time crunch because he does have to catch a flight back. So if I cut you off, please be aware that that's the reasoning behind it. So as I said earlier, we are all here for the students, or at least that's what every educator should be here for. So that's where I'm going to start. So if that's okay, I'm going to start with Ms. Brianna. And for those of you all unaware, I was provided a bio on these students and panel participants, so some of my questions will introduce them to a certain extent. But I noticed that you were on track to receive a International Baccalaureate diploma. So in Arkansas, I know the IB Computer Science program is not real prevalent. Will you share a little bit of your experiences so we know about your coursework and classes, good things that are happening and areas for growth?
Yes. So the IB, the International Baccalaureate program, they have a learn program which has special characteristics for their students. And throughout these classes that I've been taking, I've experienced all these characteristics, especially in the computer science class. One of the characteristics is inquirers. For IB Computer Science, we had to create an internal assessment. And by creating that program, we had to ask a lot of questions, gain a lot of other knowledge in which we haven't previously learned. So, and be very open-minded as well as to all the possibilities that we're able to overcome this program and like create it and make it a functional program. It's a very rigorous program, but it encourages one to think critically and be more knowledgeable of their surroundings and of just create one's knowledge, brighten it up.
And for Ms. Herrera, I noticed also that Brianna is planning on majoring in computer science when she graduates and having a minor in computer science. What are your thoughts, and did you as a parent have any influence over her decisions to pursue this field?
Well, personally, I always push for her to study hard and go for whatever she wants to accomplish. Technology is what she decided to go for, and wherever she wants to go, I'm there for her and just pushing her to be her support that she needs.
Thank you. It looks like she has her plans in mind and be a great success. So I'm going to come over here to David. David, like I said, I asked Mr. Jinks not to give you detention. So.
Yeah. Thank him later.
I notice you're only a sophomore, and that's not meant as an insult, but you have been a member of a team that has placed first in state in our Cyber Patriot competition. You personally won our AFA Cyber Patriot Champions Award. Other than obviously what is a great work ethic, what do you attribute to your success, and what role has Springdale played?
Well, I would attribute my success to our partnership with JV Hunt. They come every Friday during lunch and teach us cybersecurity. In terms of our computer science program, I've only had a few introductory courses with our academy, but that has really sparked a desire to improve, so a lot of my studying has been on my own.
And over here to Caitlin. And Caitlin, I'm going to ask you the most important question today. What will the Razorbacks record be this fall? Caitlin is currently studying programming and computer science at the University of Arkansas. She studied it in high school also. So I guess you didn't get that memo that girls can't code, correct? So no, just kidding. As you know, the Arkansas Kids Can Code initiative and the CS for All initiatives are dedicated to overcoming the preconceived ideas of who can enter in this field. Tell us a little bit about what motivated you to go into computer science.
Well, when I was in junior high, I didn't really know anything about computer science. I don't think I ever even considered it as an option. But I got a letter inviting me to come to a 0-hour class that the high school offers, this introductory programming class with Alice and Java. And I was always like an overachieving student, so if I was offered an opportunity, I always said yes. So I did it, and I came, and it was like the most like eye-opening experience ever. It was so much fun. And so I mean, I just didn't stop and kept going with it.
How do we attract more females to the field?
I think the big thing is you really have to start young. Like I helped start the Girl at App Camp, and that was for middle school and junior high girls. And that's when girls are like still deciding what they're interested in. And so if you get them then to even consider it, then you're going to get more girls interested in it.
And my final question for you, and I think Secretary King would definitely be interested in this as we look at the different incentives that we're rolling out for CS Education, is earlier in our discussions we talked about when you graduate college with a computer science degree, are you going to go into teaching or are you going to go into industry? How do we attract people like yourself into the teaching field when you have a 4-year computer science degree?
That is a good question. I personally,
No pressure.
I personally am considering teaching also because when I did do the Girl at Up Camp, I found it so rewarding to see girls come in having kind of like, my parents signed me up for this, I don't even want to be here, and then leaving like still programming, like how can I download this on my computer at home? I need to do this more. And so that was like a lot of fun for me. So maybe if we like create like joint programs where like kids from high schools can go to the university and they can work together and we can build more of like a partnership, then they'll want to give back more and help bring up the younger generations.
And this question is for Ms. McKenzie. Ms. McKenzie, Caitlin's a freshman at the University of Arkansas, as I mentioned. She's majoring in computer science. She's already interning with JB Hunt. Obviously, parental involvement has a big role in this. What role do you play and what suggestions do you have to our other parents across the nation and state?
We just support and encourage her, and until she got that letter in the mail, this was not on her radar at all. And she's like, oh, this is extra, I'll do it. And I honestly think that she has enjoyed the fact that her dad and I know nothing. that doesn't stop us. We still try, we do our best. And she'll say, Mom, there is absolutely nothing I can say that you will understand. I am going to work this out on my own with my teachers. And I think that's actually an attraction.
That's a great story.
Obviously, about the students that we have within the classroom or within this room, and that Springdale's doing a great job producing great students. And you can't produce great students without great teachers. So I think we have 3 premier computer science teachers in the room with us. I think they didn't get the memo about who's supposed to be coding also, because if you notice, they're all of that underrepresented population that we're trying to target. But let's start with Ms. Williamson, Ms. Kelly Williamson. From reading your bio, I see you have a distinguished career as a teacher for Springdale. Tell us what makes Springdale's students successful. And what can our schools across the state do to replicate this and build that entrepreneurial spirit that I know that you are very interested in coming from your background?
I am, and so I asked my students this question recently, and the very first thing that they said was relationships. And it's something that we've believed in our district for a long time. And when I asked what type of relationships, they said, well, first of all, my peers. They begin in their sophomore year in English and math with the same students that they will follow through their program of study as they continue through their junior and senior years. This creates an opportunity for them to work collaboratively and effectively. Also, the teachers, we were last, but at least we're in the picture. But really, we get to know these students. I've had a student 2 or 3 hours a day, and I really get to know them, what their needs are, and how I can best help them. So I believe relationships. The second thing is the relevance piece, and it's something that Mr. David Whelan already spoke of when he spoke of JV Hunt. and our advisory board, Mr. Brandon Stanley, having those employees from JB Hunt come into our classroom every Friday and help those students achieve awards. And then I think about also the internship that Mackenzie has and the real life experience that she's gaining, and how she has that aha moment when she sees what she's learning in Miss Perez and Miss Johnson's room is really what's going on. And it has really helped her when she's in her U of A classroom. She understands, oh my goodness, I asked her to speak to the students just a moment ago, and she said, you all are ready. You are ready for this type of work. So it's really encouraging, because she said her peers are not ready. Many of her peers are not ready for this type of work. And then the last thing would be the rigor. The amount of time that they spend inside of the classroom, and then also an association with the time they spend with the employments that we have in Walmart and JB Hunt and Tyson Foods. They see the type of work that these employees are doing. They see the workload, they see the time management, they see what's necessary for these employees to have a work-life balance, and how the employees are alongside of them to help them. Walmart Million Women Mentors program has helped all of our seniors, girls, and really helped them move in from the high school into that next level of college. And they're there to say, hey, I'm not here to just see you get into college, I'm there to see you graduate from college. So we have enormous blessings of partnerships in this Northwest Arkansas community. And so having those are integral to being successful and for our students to have the skill sets that they need.
Ms. Kathy Johnson, first I noticed from your bio, one of the things that stuck out most to me was 29 years of service. And on behalf of the Arkansas Department of Education, State of Arkansas, I want to say thank you. She was already talking to Caitlin earlier about she'll retire. Caitlin can step in. Dr. Witonsky, you can start working.
Don't worry.
So, we know in education things come and go. And over 29 years, you have probably seen a lot of initiatives come and go. How do we make sure that the Arkansas Kids Can Code and the CS for All initiatives aren't another one of these things that just come and go? How can we make sure these initiatives maintain and actually continue gaining momentum?
Well, there's a couple of things. One is, as Caitlin mentioned, us reaching out to the younger kids and getting them excited. We did the summer camp, which we all had so much fun. It was a week of wonderful time. We had 5 winners this year in the National Council of Women in Technology Awards. We have another grant. We're having another summer camp, our 2nd annual summer camp this summer. We also did some coding during Computer Science Week. We actually took instead of the hour of code, we actually we went to the middle schools and spent the day with them coding. We did some Scratch and played with the finches and stuff like that. The kids really loved it. And kind of like Caitlin said, you know, that spark in their eyes, they get, and that's unfortunately the same spark that happened to me in my first computer science class. And that was a long time ago. You know, and I majored in computer science, and I've been in and out of it for years. And it's, you know, I've always told the kids, you either love it or you don't. And it's one of those things, but when you do love it, it's a wonderful passion, and seeing that is great. Another thing that what we're not seeing is enough teachers in computer science. And that, you know, I know when we've had openings and we start looking for the pool, it's just not there. Josephina and I went to U of A and worked with Betsy Orr with her business graduates, and we came up with the frameworks for a programming class that all business teachers will take now. And I don't, you know, back when, a few years ago, we had to take be computer science certified. We had to take like 9 more hours, and then that stopped. And I don't know why, but it did. But if, you know, we could do something like that, you know, around, I think that would help. In fact, I think really almost all STEM teachers should also have programming. Another thing is, you know, just continuing the grants and the funding and the so that we can go get more training and keep up. I mean, the best thing about programming classes and the worst thing about programming classes is that the worst thing is keeping up every year with what's going on. It changes. You know, the kids will go, oh my gosh, they're coming out with Windows 10, and I'm going, wait.
She's definitely a lifelong learner.
You know, oh, that means I get to work all summer again. Thanks, you know. But the on the reverse side is those kids come in and they're so excited. I mean, I never have discipline problems. I never have anything because they can't wait to get in there.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think it, you know, just continuing with the grants and the education and the awareness that, you know, this is a field that's not going to go away. It is, and as President Obama said, this is a basic skill.
That's right.
That's where we are right now. And so I just hope we just keep continuing with it. So.
Thank you for your suggestions. Ms. Perez, relatively speaking, 6 years makes you the new kid on the block here. So, that said, I noticed that you're teaching the highest level computer science courses. I don't know if that's by default or they just said, we'll throw you in the deep end.
Yeah, kind of.
But what support do you need? You know, as we're looking at an extensive teacher turnover across the nation, especially in these high demand fields, we're losing teachers to industry. What do you need from your school, our state, and your nation to ensure that you and ultimately your students are successful, that we can keep you teaching for another 23 years, and that your school's computer science program continues to grow?
Well, as the new kid on the block, as I said, I think it's a blessing. It's a blessing for me. It's a blessing that I started my teaching career during this time, during this exciting time that technology it's rapidly changing, and there's a need for us like this field. And I kind of, when I came to Springdale High School, I wanted to teach. I wasn't sure in what area, but I had Miss Marilyn Carroll, who was our computer science teacher. She had a plan in mind for me, and so she little by little guided me into the computer science courses and prepared me for those courses. And so what support do I need to be successful and essentially my students to be successful? I think to continue to support as teacher with mentors such as Miss Marilyn Carroll has done for me. She's been there for me all this time. And also just our district supporting us with those professional developments, attending the AP Summer Institute, IB workshops that I have had the opportunity to attend, and just being allowing us, and the listserv, computer science listserv that you've created for us here in Arkansas has helped us make connection with other teachers. And we can help those other teachers who are looking to come into this field. So we continue to, our state continue to do initiatives such as the AR Kids Can Code, Computer Science for All. Just those, and our president, just this momentum that it's happening right now, let's keep it going, because there is the need for more computer science teachers and students is there, and we just let's not let it die. Let's just continue to support that. And just looking through the listserv, there are many teachers who want to come in and are looking for those professional developments, and that's where we are, and so that's what we needed. That's what we needed. And in that, we'll be successful as teachers, and of course transfer that to our students.
Thank you. And just a follow-up question, speaking of the CS for All initiative, the Arkansas Kids Can Code initiative, the CS for All initiative is just that, it's for all. How do we close the gender gap and the underrepresented minority gap that we currently see in the CS education field across the nation and in Arkansas?
Well, I think as Katie already mentioned, Ms. Johnson already mentioned, it's just starting new initiatives such as what we're doing locally here, starting the summer camp, Grow It Up for girls. It's starting that early, and we did it just for girls, just to close that gap that we do not have many females in that area. And so, and just reaching out to our students, just taking any opportunities that come up, that it's available to them, such as the NC Week program. It's a lot of our girls are very timid about applying for this and just pushing them, teachers supporting them, just any opportunities that come across. Let's do mentoring. Let's take our high school students, let's take them to the elementary school. Let's get our kids exposed to it at an early age. And we are here at Springdale High School. We believe that that's how we're gonna close that gap. And we're very excited that our computer class number of students who are going to come in next year have increased, and we're excited, and we need to continue to do that.
Great, thank you. Speaking of starting them earlier, we hear that repetitively, and Mickey McFetridge, who's also with the Springdale School District, worked with the state of Arkansas on development of archaic computer science standards, which is just that idea. If we start students earlier and we embed that instruction, then it becomes a natural part of their life. Mickey, can you briefly discuss how you see the rollout of those standards in the Springdale School District? And perhaps, since I know you are going to be an early adopter, you are actually getting ahead of the game, any suggestions for other districts?
Yes, so our main ideas here in Springdale is to really make this partnership kind of a vertical partnership between these high school teachers we have at this table right here and the rest of the teachers in the district, all the way down to our kindergarten teachers. And so what we're working on right now is this summer, these teachers are going to work with me to help kind of create the curriculum off of the new standards. As he said, those standards are required in Arkansas to go into effect in 2017, but we're going to get it going next year. So we're very excited about that. And really what that's going to take for us is I'm going to work closely with the computer science teachers here, develop the PD that is needed for our other teachers to be able to integrate this into their classrooms, and also work with our curriculum specialists here as well. So, pardon me. And also just the idea that, you know, as part of those standards, we have things, we kind of have these habits of mind, like problem solving and recognizing patterns and those types of things, which a lot of our teachers are doing these things already with students. They just need to know that it's connected to computer science.
And we'll move to the head table now. And I'll start with Mr. Jinks, if that's okay. Mr. Jinks, Springdale High School is one of 5 stops that Secretary King is making today. Obviously, it's a great honor. It's a testament to your leadership in ensuring that all of your students are receiving a well-rounded education. As I mentioned earlier, we know that initiatives live or die based on leadership. Share a little bit about what building level leaders across our state and nation should be doing to try to reach students to the level of success that you all are having, and any other advice or success stories considering these most recent initiatives.
Well, I'm up here with some pretty phenomenal school leaders already, and I'm glad you asked me first because I was going to pale compared to what they're going to say. But I think the biggest thing is I was blessed enough and fortunate enough to step into a legacy. These ladies will tell you, and Ms. Perez said, Marilyn Carroll back there, and she's right back there. She set a firm foundation at this school. And one of the things I learned very quick, and this is my 6 years principal at the school, is don't mess things up when you got a good thing. And I realize that. You find good people, you put them in positions where they're going to be successful, and then you ask the questions to help them help kids. And that's one of the biggest things I've learned in my short, I guess you would say tenure, considered 6 years as a principal here, is I've got just 3 phenomenal educators here, and you put them in the right position, you ask the right questions to help guide them, and then you get out of their way, and you let them own what they're doing. And that's huge, because then as that becomes an ownership for them, it becomes an ownership to the students. And one thing we ask here constantly when they come to me, and they do, and they say, hey, we want to try this. And I say, how's it going to help our kids? And they always come up with the right answer about how it's going to help our kids. And that's how we were able to build the partnerships with our industry. That's how we're able to build the phenomenal work they've done with women in technology to increase that demographic. And it's not about us, it's about the kids. But it's a legacy, and it's putting people in the right place. And I'm just very blessed and lucky just to get out of the way sometimes and let them take over. because they do a phenomenal job.
Mr. Jameson, thank you for your leadership. Dr. Watonski, you know, I've had the distinct pleasure of working with you at ADE, and when you were assistant commissioner there, I've kept up with the work that you are doing in Springdale High, or Springdale School District, excuse me. And I know that you're a great leader. Since moving to this district, I know that you have led and started many programs that will continue to be supportive of the Arkansas Kids Kingdom Code and CS for All initiatives. Please share with us some of your greatest successes, warnings for our state and nation as we press forward, and honestly, where you take some of your inspiration to instill some of these wonderful programs.
So I would say our biggest change that we've had at the state level has been the School of Innovation bill that has come forward to allow waivers to come into place. That has provided us with a huge opportunity. I think the governor's nod to us to allow us to do coding across the state, to give us permission to do that, to have those moments where we can have students who have the experiences to look and say, I'm a girl, and it's okay to be as part of computer science. We have these 3 awesome role models that are there to be able to support and show that that is okay, is a big deal. We also have a huge opportunity in that we have Dr. Rollins at the helm in our district. Dr. Rollins has been, as you know, uncharacteristically in the position of superintendent in this district for decades. And that stability has afforded us huge opportunities and dividends in terms of what we're able to do and how we're able to push the agenda forward. What he's done in terms of infrastructure, allowing us to move forward with a one-to-one initiative to purchase devices that aren't cheap and are expensive and do take time to put into place. He has the trust of our school board to allow us to do that, and the school board has the trust in us to move that initiative forward. So we are poised in a unique position to be able to do that. I think initiatives as a whole, Act 1280, the Digital Act, allowing us to move forward with what that looks like for students is huge. Requiring that, saying it is not okay for you to leave high school without a digital class experience is big, and I think that feeds right into what you guys are seeing in terms of enrollment and an interest in computer science, which is so big for us in Arkansas. So I think as far as inspiration, he's it. He is what we want to be, you know, in education. We only hope to have such a successful career and have been able to touch as many lives as Dr. Rollins has been able to touch in Springdale. And I would think the board would agree with that, and I think anyone that sits around the table.
Well, and before I turn it over to Secretary Quinn for any questions he may have, that takes me to Dr. Rollins. And Dr. Rollins, anyone familiar with past major educational initiatives in both the nation and the state will know who you are and the positive influences that you have had in your leadership and your giving spirit. I know you're extremely proud of Springdale School District's focus on reaching every child and your technology build-out. Please share how these focuses are part of your vision and how Springdale School District and Arkansas should continue to be leaders in the CS for All initiative.
Thank you very much. It's good to see everybody here today. This is a great event. And again, John, thank you for joining us and making this possible today. Before I get lost in, quote, my brief comments, I really want to thank Mr. Jenks. I want to thank these great teachers, those great teachers that have served in this school district over time. It has been our mission to teach them all. It's been such a privilege to stand arm in arm with the teachers of this community, this school district, the moms and dads who've joined us in this process, our great school board members, to focus on that goal. And that's a phenomenal goal. Teach them all. All means all. The challenge of that's enormous. And I think it's the challenge of that makes the whole process great. As we have moved forward over the years, we started with that Teach Them All platform. We knew what really meant, what really made the day was learning for all. So we made that process, if you will. And then as we've grown as a school district and families have moved here from all over the world, we've seen the power in learning together. and bringing moms and dads into the equation at a level perhaps we never had before. And through that, I think we've become much more united in the process of keeping our focus on learning for our students, learning for our families, learning as a community, and that just brings more and more great people to us. Clearly, graduation for all is the next major step, and that brings us forward to today, where we talk about career ready, which is so central to our country, to our region, to our city, in order to creating economic opportunities for all of our children, to helping support our industries, our businesses as they go forward. So career ready, college ready, that's been our challenge in recent years. And these last two, and Megan opened the door for them, competition ready. Our children have to be able to compete with their neighbors across the street, frankly across the ocean. And we're becoming more and more aware of that, and these young people are becoming more and more aware of that. And the next piece is innovation ready, career ready, competition ready, college ready, innovation ready. With the legislature, with our governors helping us open the door, Springdale teachers, Springdale students, the business community ran right through that door from the standpoint of creating innovative opportunities that would do what? Better connect all kids to the learning. And when Springdale kids, and I would say when young people across this country are connected to their learning at a high level, there is absolutely no end to what they can accomplish. So we're in the midst of all that now. The teachers and the community as a whole understand that without a great school board, all of these things are at loose ends. We've been so blessed to have school board members who are learners themselves and who represented the thoughts of this community and who supported our teachers through good times and bad times. And through that comes a culture that really spawns highest level of performance. I do, again, want to thank our legislators and our governors. Governor Hutchinson has done an enormous, has created an enormous gift for our state as he brought Act 1280 forward. Arkansas is the only state in the country that requires a computer science opportunity for every student. That's phenomenal. And again, that's leading to the kind of initiatives that we have today. Our school board, just this past Tuesday night, named our new School of Innovation, the Don Tyson School of Innovation. We'll open that school in the fall with 600 kids. This time next year will be 800, the following year will be 1,000. That is a phenomenal thing. At the heart of that work is personalized learning for every child, every student, as they move through the high school experience, having an opportunity to not just earn their high school diploma, but also earn their associate's degree from an area community college. And when you look at a school district like Springdale, large school district, children from all backgrounds, the opportunity to get an associate's degree while in college, you can only imagine the confidence that spawns for them to continue to learn and pursue their careers and higher learning at the greatest level. So I thank our legislators, I thank our governors, I particularly thank Governor Hutchinson for his leadership here and opening the door for the computer coding piece, but we are pursuing innovation in a way that I think will make a difference for every child in Springdale. But John, very importantly, I think the work that's going on here will transfer anywhere in our region, anywhere in our state, anywhere in our country. And that's what is so very important to every educator in this room. Thank you again for being here. It's a privilege for me to be a part of it.
Thank you, Dr. Rowland. And Secretary King, officially, we have the State of Arkansas Department of Education, welcome. Hope you got some out of this brief glimpse into Springdale School District, and we'll turn the rest of the time over to you. Your handler did ask me to keep you on task, though, so you have until about 10 after.
Thank you very much. Well moderated. Well, thank you all. I'm thrilled to be back in Springdale. You know, so deeply admire Superintendent Rollins and the leadership here from the administrative team, from the board, Last time I was here was to focus on early learning, and that is a hugely important investment with an 8-to-1, 9-to-1 return on every dollar invested, and Springdale understood that early and has made that important investment. And Arkansas and Springdale are leading the pack on computer science. The President has asked Congress for $4 billion to invest in state efforts to expand access to computer science. And when the President made that proposal, he talked about computer science as core to how we think about a well-rounded education. Yes, students need strong English language arts skills. Yes, they need strong math skills, and they need science, and they need social studies, and they need art, and they need computer science. And Arkansas has realized that and is investing in the teacher supply that is necessary to execute on that vision, right? And one of the challenges we see across the country is even where there's a lot of enthusiasm about computer science, if you don't have the supply of talented, skilled teachers who are able to continually update their skills, you can't fulfill that vision. And so I really am here partly just to celebrate the work that's happening in Springdale and in Arkansas. It'd be helpful to hear from folks around the table if you were talking to a district that's just getting started. It doesn't have any computer science effort to speak of. What would you tell them about how best to start and build a program?
Well, I would say that to begin with, you need to reach out to the industry in your area. You need to form those partnerships. That is essential to have team members that are willing to answer an email, but to first of all go face to face and introduce yourself and express an interest that you really need some help to walk alongside you, and their company wants them to do that as well, because many of the students that they have met through these advisory board meetings and whatnot, they are their employees within the year. When they are showcasing their talents and abilities, a lot of the business people do not understand or know what our kids are capable of. And so it's that communication of the skill sets that they do know and are ready to enter into the workforce. So I believe that is really, really important.
Possibly we need to think about mentoring, possibly. You know, those of us that have should be helping those that don't. You know, maybe the listserv, you know, the communication part. A lot of it is, I think it was when we went to JB Hunt the other day, we went for a tour, and they said, if you're going to get into computers, you have to have courage. And, you know, a lot of these teachers are afraid to teach that computer class or jump, you know, that's something they've never done before. And sometimes it's scary when the kids know more than you do. It was really hard for me to switch over, and I think I'm there. But, you know, so maybe those, you know, maybe not only mentoring companies, but maybe me as a teacher should be mentoring other schools that haven't got their programs together yet.
And Walmart has an outstanding program that currently does that with the employees to our students. So we could take that website that has been developed and create something like that for our level teachers to reach down to other teachers, or even for our students, which I think is really important, to reach down to other students, for the Caitlin McKenzie's of the world to go to the elementary schools and go to the middle schools and that kind of thing.
I'm sorry. I was just going to say I totally agree with the mentoring. I would not be here if I did not have someone that is mentoring me and still supports me, and that's what we need to provide for all of the other teachers who are looking to come into this field.
I think I'm going to go back to kind of that vertical alignment conversation that we had. So, you know, it really is important, I think, for these high school computer science people, after they make these partnerships with businesses, to be looking at, you know, kindergarten standards, first grade, second grade, to see how those things that those teachers are teaching, and give those teachers an idea that all of these things also have these connections to computer science, computational thinking, and all of those types of things as well. So I just think it's important for the district as a whole to really explain to our teachers of all levels that we're all doing computer science types of things, not just these high school teachers that are doing great things.
I would add that part of your culture, your school, has got to be the willingness to allow your teachers to experiment and to allow your teachers to try things. And sometimes those things work, and sometimes, you know, they don't. And that reflects down to the kids as well, because you learn a lot when you make a mistake and you figure out what you did wrong. And so much when I went in high school, which was here, and it was, you got to get the right answer the first time, and then but you don't learn that way. You learn by trying to fix your car, messing it up, and trying to figure out what you did wrong. And as my wife can attribute. And we're fortunate to have Dr. Marcia Smith, Dr. Witonsky, who was there as a backup role for us to say, sorry, that says, we're thinking about doing this. Well, let's try it. Let's see what happens. Let's pilot it. If it works, then it just explodes.
Yeah.
Because now they've got ownership of it.
That connects with the very first have in mind is perseverance. So the teachers have to be able to experience that, to model it for the students, so that they know they've got that safe place to fail, and just try again and persevere until it happens.
For the students, what would you say if one of your peers said, I don't know about this computer science thing, I'm not sure it's for me? What would you tell them to try and get them excited about their computer science experience they're going to have?
Well, it might not be, but you have to try it. And I think in this school, it's like the perfect place to try it. I felt so close to all of my teachers. They were always there for me. I felt like I could talk to them about anything, not just my classes. And every time that I wanted to try something, they were always there to support me. Like when I wanted to do the camp, they're like, okay, we'll do it. It took 2 years to get it figured out, but we did it. And then one day I came in, I'm like, Ms. Perez, I think I want to get an internship. She's like, okay. And then just a few weeks later, I met Brandon Stanley from J.B. Hunt, and now I'm on my second internship. So like they really try to connect with us and make sure anything that we want to do and aspire to do, that we can do it.
And, I would add that it moves down through the sibling group, because her younger brother's philosophy of life is anything she can do, I can
That's
do
awesome.
better.
Yeah.
And so,
It's on.
there's no discussion. Of course I'm doing it.
What interested me in computer science was that I would always be on my phone, and I was like, how does this work? How do they get the apps? How does this work? And so I was just curious. So that curiosity that sparks in the student, like if they play video games or play on the tablet, it's just little things like simple like that, and just asking them, how do you think that works? Like, and just, it might not be full on code at first, but like just getting them introduced into that, how it goes, and just curiosity into what's happening.
That's good. David, what about for you?
Probably for the introductory courses, there's tons of stuff out on the internet. There's resources. So before they sign up to the class, and they're committed for a year, and that's a lot. So
It's a long time.
in terms of if you're in high school for 4 years, that's a fourth of when you're in high school. You can have them go out and try. There's stuff like Code Academy, which is anywhere from intermediate to advanced. There's all these tools out there that they can go and teach themselves if they really have the drive to do so.
And what would folks say is next for the computer science effort in Springdale? What's the next level that you want to take the program to, and what are the resources you need to do that?
Money.
I think we're.
I sort of walked into that.
Thank you.
She's trying.
I think we're kind of there. I mean, every day it seems like we come to work and something really exciting is happening in computer science. Now, if this keeps up, I mean, we're just along for the ride, I feel like. We're just so excited. We have J.B. Hunt at your door saying, let's do Cyber Patriot.
Yeah.
And we have J.B. Hunt interns. We have our first Walmart intern. We've never done that before. It's like it's coming to us.
The word is getting out, I think,
Yeah.
about what our students are able to do. That's what I think where it hits the road, and it's kind of an aha. We are just really blessed. And I think also having the collaborative time, As a team, we meet third period, which doesn't mean anything to anybody but us, but it's sacred time where we can plan these events and make sure that the students have the resources that they need. And that's really valuable time for us as teachers to make sure these students get what they need.
And I think what Mr. Jinks has created here is exactly what Mr. McFetrich was talking about, creating a safety net that it is okay to fail, that it is okay to try it. And coding, as you know, is all about trying, correcting, modifying, trying, correcting, modifying, trying, correcting, modifying, until you get it the way that you want it. So persistence for any of those initiatives is
I was laughing with the kids the other day because when I graduated, it was punch cards standing in line at the basement of the U of A.
Yes.
And I said, you know, and then you get a run and it was syntax error, syntax error, syntax error.
Yeah.
And I said, it is, but I have turned into them now. I used to be so crazy about coding, but it's so easy to go, oh, I'll put that in there, oh, I'll try that, and it's wonderful. You can't fail.
I'm just really excited that we've got kids younger and younger that are really starting to get into it. I know that this December during kind of that hour of code week, we had every school in this district doing it in multiple grades. We had first, second grade, third grade, fourth grade. So these kids are talking about, they started experiencing it kind of junior high-ish, and now we've got kids that are starting to experience it when they're 7, 8 years old. So I just think that's really exciting.
I know we're running out of time. Any last comments that folks want to make? I'll just close with this. You know, one of the things that struck me when I was here visiting pre-K and talking with the Superintendent Rollins talked about this notion of teach them all. And one of the things that inspires me in spending time here again is that throughout the culture of Springdale is a commitment to making sure these opportunities are available to all students. That we have gender equity, that we have opportunity for our students of color, that we are making sure that every kid, whatever their family's income, has the opportunity to get a great education. And that's really, it's an inspiration to me. It's something that I think is an inspiration to the country. So just thanks for all that you're doing. Pleasure to meet you all.